Good morning. I do hope that you are following along with my Gracious Space readings, which is by Judy Bogart and Brave Writer. I know that many of you are seculist homeschoolers, and that's okay, and some of you are Christian. I just want to bless you. I just want to send out a blessing to you today in hopes that your homeschooling experience is uplifted and positive and growing, because we are only in October, but time is really going by fast. And before you know it, we're going to be hitting summer all over again and entering in a whole new school year. So I want to continue blessing you through these readings so that you will continue to be encouraged and uplifted and supported through this journey and know that you're not alone. So let's grab our coffee, sit back, relax, and enjoy a gracious space with me today. Yesterday we did day 12. Today we're on day 13, which is called Do No Harm. You may not yet be acquainted with my writing guru, Peter Elbow. I frequently refer to him and his philosophy of writing. Here's one of his quotes I just love. Most students benefit when they feel that writing is a transaction between human beings rather than an exercise in getting something right or wrong. For this reason, I try to make my comments on student writing sound like they come from a human reader rather than from an impersonal machine or a magisterial, all-knowing God source. Thus, instead of saying the organization is unclear here, I like to say I got confused by your organization here. Instead of unconvincing, I'm unconvinced. Instead of diction, too slangy for me here. Instead of awk for awkward, I stumbled here. Elbow's mantra in giving feedback is at least do no harm. One of the benefits of being a parent as writing coach is you can have conversations about the writing. You can say things to your child in the same manner you would talk about how to use the remote control or what to make for dinner. I loved this part, got my heart pumping. I got a little lost here, but you got me back on track here. I wish I knew more about this person, and I wonder what happens next. So much better than focus on your tone, and your organization is hard to follow, and you need more facts here. The best coaching entices the writer to imagine new possibilities in the writing. That's different than asking your child to make improvements or change so the paper is right or correct. So here's our sustaining thought for today. Today, I choose to speak kind words to my kids as a human being who loves them, not as an instructor correcting them. How many of you played the teacher role with your children? You say, when I'm doing this, I'm your teacher, but when I'm doing this, I'm your mother. Maybe it's time that we combine the two together all the time, not just during teaching hours, I'm a teacher, and after teaching hours, I'm your mom. How about we be both at all times? I'm your teacher and your mom. I'm your mom and your teacher. Because as a mom, we are teaching our children responsibilities, character building, how to be a good human being out in the world. We're teaching them right from wrong. Now, as many of you know, if you've watched my video about my trip to Arizona, you know that I had a pretty bad experience with my father, who has verbally abused me most of my life and continues to do so in my adult life. It was one of those aha moments that happened with me and made me realize who I am, what I am, and why I do the things that I do. And the things that I do have not been very good. And a lot of the times I do find myself speaking down to Tavin when he doesn't deserve it. It's just my own insecurities. It's just my own way of trying to make him perfect. And he can't be. He won't be. And I get frustrated by that. That's just the truth. And I need to learn to not be frustrated by that. I need to learn how to be real with him and let him be real. I need to learn how to let him be who he is instead of trying to make him something I want him to be. Granted, I want him to be a good person, a kind person, compassionate, thoughtful, loving, generous, and sometimes not so noisy. That's just the truth. But in doing so, I can't stop him from being who he is. He's a little noisemaker. That's who he is. He loves to make noise at all times. He feels he needs to fill the space with noise all the time. And while that drives me a little crazy, it's what he really likes to do. And I need to accept that. And rather than say, you're driving me crazy with that noise, I need to say, can you please turn it down a little bit? It's kind of hurting my ears. Maybe that's a better way for me to handle these things. And let me tell you, I'm really trying, especially after what happened to my father, or with my father. Since then, I've really been very aware of my words. Because when I speak to Tavin now, sometimes I hear my father and it scares me. And I don't ever want to hear my father's voice in my head again. Maybe you had someone in your life when you were younger talk down to you. Maybe sometimes that slips out in your relationship with your children now. That's okay. It really is. All you have to do now is say, I'm really sorry that I treated you that way. I never meant to do that. And if I hurt you, please forgive me. Will you forgive me? I did that with Tavin, and he so lovingly forgave me. And since then, our relationship has been fantastic. My voice has been down. My tone is down. I don't yell. I don't snap. Things still bother me because I am still who I am and he is still who he is. But I can react differently. I can respond differently and not react. So in everything that we do, when we are disciplining our children, when we are trying to correct them, we have to be very aware of our words and how we say them to our children, because those words will last with them forever. As much as we think the good outweighs the bad, we all know from experience that the bad really stays with us more than the good. I remember more of the bad things that were said to me as a child than anything good that was spoken to me. In fact, I can't remember anything good spoken to me as a child. And that hurts. And that pain goes into my adulthood. But I have the opportunity, even at 49 years old, when people say, I'm too old to change, you are never too old to change. You can stop this cycle, even if it's just once in a while that you find yourself doing these things with your children. You still have the opportunity to stop and think, isn't that what we tell our children to do? Before they react and explode, we tell them stop and think. And this goes back again to being an example to our children. If we can't control ourselves, how will our children be able to control themselves? We have to teach them self-control as well. And while this really didn't have a whole lot to do with that in this gracious space today, I do think it has a lot to say about our words and how we present our response to their actions, to their schoolwork, to their everyday routines. We can be better in how we speak to our children. We really can. We can still be lovingly disciplinarians. It doesn't always have to be so hard. I pray that this has blessed you today, and I pray that from now on, you too will stop before you react and teach our children to do the same. God bless you.